The Merry Pranksters, Chapter 2, Episode 3. As Fuchs shoots off some colorful Horace comments, I'm not the only one who's realizing that fame without the fortune is a tyrannical prison. Surrendering to the idea that we're not getting rid of these girls anytime soon, Hank rations out a modest 8-ball without giving away that there's a guitar case full of yo in the next room. I glance over and catch Ginger's hand sliding from Lolita's bronze shoulder down the curve of her liberated breast like she's cemented the shape to memory. When she glances up at me with those soulless eyes that I can't decide whether to pity or fear, she strokes Lolita's hair like you would a pet before yanking the young girl's head back and shoving her cocaine tongue down her bubblegum throat. "Hey, yeah," I say nervously, letting her know that I'm not ignoring them. "It's so funny to be running into you here. We were wondering if we'd ever see you ladies again." Ginger tightened her gaze and shot back a look that could barely contain the fury raging at my callous attempt at redemption. Her eyes narrow as the corner of her lip wrinkles, forming the beginning of a vindictive grimace that vows, "Oh, you'll pay for this." Hank asked the two ladies, his eyes clenched tightly shut, snapping his fingers and begging their pardon. "I'm sorry, girls. What'd you say your names were again?" Ginger retracts her claws as the two ladies sit back on the sofa, their elbows resting on the ash-colored cushion, holding their cigarettes casually between their fingers. Unable to hold a look of faux earnestness for even a moment, they both burst into a cackle and say we didn't. We all share an awkward laugh as the girls fall all over themselves like a coven of drunken Wiccans. Flashing me another mischievous glance, as if I'm supposed to recognize its meaning, I smile at both of them politely, while Hank is thinking, "Hide your gold." Retrieving his darts from the bullseye, Fuki says, "Man, I can't believe anyone even noticed you guys playing in the background. It's crazy that Dickie saw all that kung fu fighting going down. You must have been nervous filling in as the lead singer like that." Then he turns to say, "Damn, Gonzo, you had to miss one show since that stupid 4th of July gig, and these fools hit the jackpot with a viral video." After Dickie and Hank exchange a curious glance and mouth the words, "One show?" to each other, Hank says in a mocking tone as he tosses us all a round of Budweisers from the cooler, "Yet, somehow, all these comments are asking who that band is." Followed by a chuckle, he adds, "No, who's that singer?" I look to the two girls on the couch for a distraction, while Hank talks them through the video frame by frame. There is something satisfying about watching a tiny Asian chick jump on a bar and karate chop some rich kid that's satisfying to the soul. If memory serves, that throat kick wasn't even close to the most badass thing Megami did that night. If the video had been 10 seconds longer, it would have shown a bloody face and a shattered bottle of Dom, with Meg standing over the guy saying, "Tell Mommy and Daddy, send me bill." The young brunette sitting on the couch crosses and uncrosses her tanned legs, twirling her pigtails as she listens to Hank, while the redhead sits with her arms crossed. It's hard to imagine the same girl, not so long ago, in the throes of passion, screaming the filthiest profanities while she was bent over the sink of the Cornerstone's toilet with my burning red handprint tattooed on her pale, round ass. Such a cosmic tragedy, seeing her now, that LA face with the Oakland booty, counting the fish-shaped holes in the wall of the living room. Every hole, every bloodstain tells a tale as old as the house itself, whose features appear ancient and weathered like an old cigar store Indian chief, whiskey-logged, mystically bulletproof, and smelling like stale peyote. The debate whether to listen to Slayer or Elvis Costello is just a warm-up to see where everyone's loyalties lie. Ginger stubs out the cigarette she was hiding behind and waltzes over to me as I'm strumming Live Forever on my 6-string. She rests a hand firmly on each one of my thighs like a beggar and asks me how much longer we'll be up, as if we're late for our reservation at the Dresden. I tap her forearm away with the head of my guitar and sing that I really don't want to know how her garden grows, and the look she shoots me suggests there will be a voodoo doll with my image haunting me by the time the cock crows 3. The fact that she didn't shout it, but said it with her eyes in a devious, scolding tone causes a brewing panic that is too late to internalize now without much more cocaine. Grabbing her knockoff Louis bag and her little runaway by the hand, she flips her anger-colored hair over her pale shoulder to flash me one last look. Blowing me a sinister kiss, she vows to return like an ungodly plague. The razor blade Dickie is using to slice open the Phillies blunt is kept in a separate tin box from the Coke razor stored in the Jack Daniels gift box. He shuffles the tobacco from the cigar into the black bar ashtray like dirt on a coffin before wiping his hands clean. After brilliant mistake finishes and watching the detectives begins, the raging fire burning in our eyes has dimmed to an exhausted flame. By the time this world has had its way with Allison, the floor is littered with empties, and I hear Dickie telling Gonzo that Armante on bass brings a lot to the band, in a way that is less threatening than when Hank said it. "Look, boys," Dickie says, sparking the blunt, "the way I see it, the number of choices we have before us is like infinite. If we play our cards just right, we can all have some real fun with this. But the chances of us pulling this off without working together is like less than 0. He passes the blunt to the left and asks the room if we're up for this, like it was a real question we should all be asking ourselves. Through the thick green smoke filling the room, he raises his eyebrows a little bit higher with each pair of eyes he makes contact with. While no one attempts to argue, we all know that we're standing on the edge of a cliff, and we all have our own reasons for not taking that final leap. Fuki bogarts the joint and calls for immediate action. He adds in a way that causes more than one eye in the room to roll that his law firm handles tons of clients in the music business, and he's got all the media connections. Hank grabs the blunt from his clutches and reminds the room that Fuki is a paralegal at his mom's law firm. Gonzo said he was born ready, allowing a hollow, unconvincing hit to seep from his mouth, while letting the joint extinguish between his fingers. Dickie rescues the blunt and hits on it until the cherry is reignited. Then, licking his fingers to even out a run like perfectly synchronized performance art, he proposes we all meet here Monday morning. You know, early, like around noon. We can figure all this shit out then. As the blunt makes its way back around to Hank, he asks, "Well, wait, what's our other option?" Shaking out a curly lock of hair from his brow, Dickie takes the blunt and blows the cherry hot before flashing that beaming smile that's cheeky while still coming off as sincere. My mind immediately wonders if Val would come with us after he answers, "Our other option is we all jump in the caddy right now, man. Drive to Nashville. Find out what this band of Merry Pranksters are really made of."